Deep within the mist-shrouded heart of the jungle, a team of wildlife researchers stumbled upon a heartbreaking scene. Curled beside the still body of his mother, a tiny panther cub lay shivering, his weak cries barely audible. He was alone, sick, and his chances of survival were fading with the daylight. Without a moment's hesitation, the team gently scooped him up, wrapping him in a warm blanket. His journey to a new life had just begun. Back at the research shelter, the fragile cub, whom they named Luna, was fighting for his life. He was too weak to eat, too scared to move. The team tried everything, but he seemed to be giving up. Then they had an idea. They introduced him to another resident of the shelter, a sleek black house cat named Shadow. Shadow was known for her gentle and nurturing nature. She approached the tiny panther cautiously, sniffing him before starting to groom his matted fur with her rough tongue. In that moment, an unlikely bond was formed. Shadow adopted Luna as her own. What followed was a beautiful testament to a mother's love. We watched as Shadow took on her new role with incredible dedication. She would nudge Luna towards his milk, curl her body around his to keep him warm, and purr endlessly, a constant rumbling comfort. Days turned into weeks, and under Shadow's devoted care, Luna began to transform. His appetite returned, his coat regained its glossy sheen, and a playful spark ignited in his eyes. He started to follow his adoptive mother everywhere, mimicking her every move, from the way she pounced on toys to the way she stretched in the sun. This tiny, orphaned panther was finally learning how to be a cat. The shelter wasn't always a peaceful haven. One afternoon, a stray dog, aggressive and much larger than Shadow, wandered into the enclosure. It cornered the still small Luna, barking and snarling. Fear paralyzed the young panther, but not his mother. Without a second thought, Shadow launched herself at the dog. She became a whirlwind of black fur, hissing and swiping with a ferocity that startled the intruder. She placed herself squarely between the dog and her adopted son, a small house cat bravely defending a future king of the jungle. The dog, bewildered by her courage, eventually backed off and fled. Shadow, though trembling, immediately returned to Luna, nuzzling him to make sure he was all right. It was a powerful lesson in courage and protection that Luna would never forget. The years passed quickly. Luna was no longer the tiny, frail cub they had rescued. He was now a magnificent young panther, his muscles rippling beneath his sleek black coat. His size dwarfed his adoptive mother, and the shelter that had once been his whole world was now feeling small. He was filled with a primal energy, a wildness that couldn't be contained. Shadow seemed to understand this. It was time for the next stage of his education. She began leading him on hunting expeditions around the shelter's grounds. At first, she would demonstrate stalking insects and small lizards with practiced patience. Luna watched intently, his instincts awakening. Soon he was joining in, his movements growing more fluid and powerful with each attempt. The little house cat was teaching the panther how to harness the predator within. One day, fate brought an old foe back to their doorstep. The same dog, now older but just as aggressive, reappeared near the enclosure. But this time, things were different. As the dog began its familiar snarls, it wasn't the brave little house cat that met its challenge. It was Luna. He stepped forward, a low growl rumbling deep in his chest. He was no longer a frightened cub. He was a powerful predator. The dog, sensing the immense power shift, froze. Luna didn't even need to attack. He simply held his ground, his golden eyes locked onto the dog, a silent, dominant presence. The dog, recognizing its mistake, tucked its tail between its legs and scrambled away, never to return. Shadow watched from a distance, a quiet pride in her gaze. Her son was ready. The day of his release was filled with a bittersweet mix of joy and sorrow. The researchers opened the gate that led back to the dense, green world he was born to inhabit. Luna stood at the threshold, looking back one last time. He walked over to Shadow, his massive head gently bumping against her small one. He licked her face, a gesture he had learned from her as a tiny cub. It was a final, tender thank you, a farewell to the mother who had saved him, raised him, and taught him everything he needed to know. Shadow watched as he turned and disappeared into the jungle, his powerful form melting into the shadows. He was finally going home. The story of the house cat who raised a panther became a legend at the shelter, a beautiful reminder that love knows no size, no species, only heart. Thanks for watching this incredible story. If you were touched by their bond, hit that subscribe button for more amazing wildlife tales.